We are continuing our coverage of the U.S. southern border. Arizona lawmakers fighting for more security after the Biden administration ordered the state to remove shipping containers placed along gaps in the border wall. NewsNation's Allie Bradley is live for us in Arizona. Allie, there was a lot of back and forth about those containers.
Yeah, we were there for the entire thing too, Nicole, watching it all unfold. And what we're experiencing right now is seeing the cartels' decision to push drugs and people into the country colliding with law enforcement on the front lines down here in Arizona and in Texas. Law enforcement now telling me, Nicole, that they feel like they are in a battle right now with President Biden to get a barrier. Through the holes in the wall, they're walking across the border into Nogales with ease. It's almost like an open door. Now, that family group who Border Patrol says is from Mexico came down this hill with the help of a smuggler or a guide on an ATV. And then they have to clear this barbed wire fence here, and then they have to climb under or over this Normandy fence. And then they're in the United States. And less than 40 miles away in the same sector, shipping containers used to line the U.S.-Mexico border here in the Coronado National Forest, but those were removed after a fight with the feds. So now all that's left is some barbed wire and a line in the sand. And it appears the administration has no plans of filling any of the gaps in the Tucson sector as wall materials are moving out of Cochise County.
They're going to keep coming. The cartel doesn't care what President Biden does or what he does here.
Sheriff Daniels says while he knows the wall won't stop everything, and we have seen it, he says the wall serves as a symbol of trespass. When someone crosses that, they know they've broken the law. Undocumented individuals are walking down from the mountains into the Tucson sector through the rough terrain and extreme elements, and they're picked up by load drivers with the help of a pin drop. The sheriff says the majority of the drivers are U.S. citizens who then lead law enforcement on dangerous pursuits.
And they turn their head against these crimes. They turn their head against communities that we take an oath to protect. That's abandonment. I don't care how it is.
The administration laid out plans to fill holes in the wall late last year. Holes left when the project was put on ice when President Biden took office, maintaining that not another foot of wall would be built. The administration, though, doing an about-face, saying construction would resume on some portions of the barrier in the Yuma and El Paso sectors, but did not mention remedying the problems in the Tucson sector. This as Texas Governor Greg Abbott has repeatedly taken matters into his own hands when it comes to securing the border, from sending buses of migrants across the country to putting up shipping containers under Operation Lone Star. His latest stunt of running concertina wire along 60 miles of the Texas border is ruffling feathers in El Paso, where, according to the El Paso Times, Abbott skirted the permit process to deploy the wire along the river there, but says, quote, "We aren't asking for permission. Instead, we are doing the federal government's job to secure the border." While the governor has legal authority to deploy the National Guard, the riverbank and levees are controlled by the International Boundary and Water Commission. And while permits are required to build on federal land, Abbott has not received blowback from the Biden administration yet. Okay, so back here in Arizona, in the Tucson sector, they have had a massive surge of fentanyl and illegal immigrants pushing into this sector. Nicole, what we can tell you is that we know that there are at least 1,200 pounds of fentanyl seized in this sector, and they are taking a top spot in the nation's gotaways. Those are people that are evading law enforcement. About 14,000 people were able to evade law enforcement last month in this sector alone. Fell just behind El Paso. That saw about 16,000 last month, Nicole.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.